Nice to meet you. I'm Kinsley. I just moved here last week. Sorry for reaching out of the blue, but do you have a minute? Oh, Kinsley. Thank you so much for the kind message. I really appreciated you stopping by to introduce yourself, especially when you've just moved and must be super busy. No, really. Thank you. It's our first time living in this area, so everything feels kind of uncertain. But knowing we have such kind neighbors nearby honestly gives me a lot of peace of mind. Oh, that means a lot to hear. If there's anything you're unsure about or need help with, don't hesitate to ask, okay? Okay then. I'll take you up on that. Actually, my son just started elementary school last week, and he's been kind of confused about a few things. I was wondering what the teachers and general vibe at the school are like. I see. Yeah, transferring to a new school can be tricky at first. Most of the teachers are great, but there is one who's a little different. Wait, different? What kind of teacher are we talking about? Well, let me see. If I had to sum it up, I'd say the teacher's super obsessive. Like, she absolutely has to do everything her own way, no compromises. Honestly, it feels like she cares more about doing things her right way than about the students or the parents. Oh, wow. So, not strict exactly, more like one-sided? That's exactly it. Especially when it comes to numbers and stats, she's weirdly obsessed with them. There's this rumor that she's always bragging like, my class hit a 5-day streak. Stats? You mean like standardized test scores or something? Nope, not even close. More like everyone in my class finished their school lunch 5 days in a row. Stuff that nobody else would really care about, but she's super proud of it. Wait, lunch? That's seriously what she's focused on? It's wild that a teacher would care that much about something like that. Right? And if even one kid leaves a bite behind, apparently she gets visibly annoyed and the whole room goes tense. So the kids basically have to walk on eggshells while eating? It's honestly kind of disturbing. My son once mentioned that he had to make himself eat because the teacher gives him a scary look if he leaves food behind. He wasn't feeling well that day, and it just broke my heart. Since my kid just transferred, I'm starting to worry what this kind of pressure might really weigh on him. Don't worry, Kinsley, you're clearly on top of things, and if anything ever feels off, just go straight to the school and talk to them. If something seems wrong, don't hesitate. Thank you, really. Ever since we moved, I've just been so anxious about everything, but talking to you helped ease my mind a little.
This is honestly so bizarre. No matter how much I think about it, I just can't figure it out.
Huh?
Excuse me, do you have a minute? I've just been wondering how a child could end up so completely oblivious to social cues. I couldn't stop thinking about it, so I had to reach out.
Excuse me? Who is this? I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, I apologize. I should have introduced myself sooner. I'm Elena Hill, your son's homeroom teacher at the elementary school. I'm reaching out because something's been bothering me.
Are you Jacob's homeroom teacher? But wait, how do you even have my number? I'm honestly shocked you contacted me out of nowhere.
Ah, right, about that. When Jacob transferred to our school, there was a form where parents provided their phone number, remember? I used that to look you up on what's up.
I'm sorry, but that sounds like a serious misuse of personal information. Are you even allowed to do that?
Yes, well, I believe that when something feels urgent, using the most direct method is completely appropriate. There was something I needed to confirm right away, which is why I reached out like this.
I see. So what exactly was so urgent that you had to text me directly?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, there's something that's been bothering me about your son, Jacob. To be blunt, I just can't wrap my head around how he ended up so unaware of the people around him.
Unaware of the people around him? What exactly do you mean by that? You can't just say something like that out of nowhere and expect me to be okay with it.
Now, no need to be so shocked. I see parents these days don't even recognize basic social awareness issues. I'm saying your son completely lacks the ability to read the room. That's something we talk about a lot in schools these days.
This isn't about whether I know that term or not. I'm asking you why you're saying my son deserves to be labeled like that. What's the reason?
Do you know what the cafeteria served for lunch today? It was crab cakes, and Jacob was the only one who didn't finish his. Every other student ate all of theirs. It was honestly a proud moment for the whole class.
Sorry, and what exactly is the issue here?
Since everyone else finished their lunch, I really think Jacob should have just read the room and eaten his too.
Well, sorry, but there's something I need to clarify.
When I asked him why, he just kept saying I can't eat this. No matter how many times I asked, he wouldn't say anything more. At home, could you please make sure he understands that when food is served, he's expected to finish it? We take nutrition education very seriously at this school.
But we already informed the school that Jacob has a shellfish allergy, didn't we?
Yes, that's noted in his file, and it came up during the transfer interview too. I'm aware of that.
Then as I understood it, when a meal includes an allergen like that, he's supposed to be given an alternative menu.
That's the standard procedure, yes, but apparently there was a mistake in the cafeteria today. Still, once the food was served, I believe he should have just gone along with the class and eaten it anyway.
That's absolutely outrageous. You failed to follow the allergy protocol, and now you're blaming him for it?
Oh, hold on. You're trying to say this was my fault? I didn't do anything wrong.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. You knew there was a mistake in what was served and did nothing to fix it. That's clearly a failure on the school's part. The moment you realized, you should have corrected it. Why didn't you?
Oh, come on. Between lesson planning and meetings, I barely have enough time as it is. Honestly, I can't just stop everything over every little thing.
Wait a minute. Are you saying your own convenience matters more than a child's health and safety?
Look, I get that you just moved here last month, so maybe you don't know this, but in my class, every single student has finished their lunch every day until now. Other teachers have even complimented us. They've said things like, wow, Elena's class is on another level.
And what exactly does that have to do with anything? We're talking about my child's safety right now.
Wow, you really don't get it, do you? Thanks to your son not finishing his lunch, that perfect streak we've kept going, it ended today. So what are you going to do about that?
I can't even begin to understand how you think that's reasonable. Don't try to shift the blame onto me just to cover your own mistakes. I'm not having it.
Do you know how upsetting it was for me to have that perfect streak break right there in front of everyone? That's why I asked Jacob to just take one bite, just one, to keep it going, but he flat out refused. Did it not occur to him to just suck it up for the sake of the group?
And that's your personal issue, not something that belongs anywhere in your classroom. You can't guilt trip a kid into eating something they're allergic to just because you were upset. Stop dragging my son into your obsession with being perfect. A school is not a place for you to chase your own ego.
Excuse me? What is wrong with you and your kid? All you do is complain without even trying to understand how I do things. I'm so fed up. Do you have any idea how humiliated I was in the teacher's lounge today? That silence, those cold stares, it was all because of you two.
To be perfectly honest, I couldn't care less.
One of the other teachers tried to comfort me like, oh, sometimes that just happens when a student has an issue. But I know he was judging me on the inside. Even if they smiled to my face, I'm sure they were all thinking, wow, Hill messed up again.
You said so many unbelievable things that, honestly, I can't even fathom how you were ever hired to teach children.
Oh, shut up. I come from a family of educators. You hear me? Both my parents were school principals, and I've carried their legacy on my shoulders.
I couldn't care less about your family background or whatever titles you're clinging to. Bottom line, do not ever serve shellfish to my son again. If anything like this happens a second time, I will not forgive you. Remember that.
Jesus, this is exactly what people mean when they say helicopter parent. Unbelievable. What a nightmare of a family.
Anyway, my son's about to get back from his lesson, so if you'll excuse me, I have to go now. What was that teacher's deal? I feel so uneasy now. The one Cora mentioned, this has to be the same teacher. My name is Kinsley. I'm 30. My husband got transferred for work, so the three of us, me, him, and our 7-year-old son, moved here last month. The woman I spoke to earlier, Elena Hill, is my son's homeroom teacher at his new elementary school. When Jacob came home from his after-school class, I asked him about what happened at lunch. He told me. I said no, so it's okay. And I know what I can't eat, so I didn't. We've always taught Jacob that he must not eat shellfish, and he's been really careful about it. And yet, in a place that's supposed to be safe, a place where kids are meant to learn and grow, I never imagined my son's life would be put at risk. Unbelievable. What were you thinking? You put my son in danger.
Huh?
You knew he has a shellfish allergy.
What?
Why did you force him to eat it?
Why are you getting so worked up?
Why do you think? Why did you make Jacob eat the shrimp pasta?
Because that's what the cafeteria served today. It's not good to waste food, right?
I personally told you 2 days ago. I clearly said my son can't have shellfish. And still, I can't believe this. Jacob had to be taken to the ER by ambulance because of that. He could barely breathe. I was helpless.
Yeah, I already heard. I know he was taken to the hospital.
When I got the call from the school, my hands were literally shaking. I was so shaken up, I couldn't even speak. It felt like my heart was being crushed in my chest.
Well, hey, maybe the lunch was just too good and he passed out from joy? Kidding. Totally kidding.
Excuse me? How can you joke like that right now? My son lost consciousness and had to be rushed to the hospital. The doctor said he was in critical condition. Do you even get how serious this was?
Like I said, he probably really wanted to try it. He looked at me with those big eyes and asked, "Can I just have a little taste?" Super sweet.
Are you seriously saying Jacob said that? Are you sure?
Oh, absolutely. That's exactly how it went. At least from what I remember.
Don't lie to me. I heard everything directly from Jacob. And what he said and what you're saying, they don't match at all.
Oh, so he's awake now? Good to hear he's doing okay.
You took the shrimp pasta from your own plate and forced it into his mouth, didn't you? This isn't some joke you can laugh off.
Wait a second. You're really just going to believe everything a kid says at face value? Kids exaggerate stuff all the time.
Of course I believe him. If I can't trust my own child, then who can I trust?
Oh, I didn't do anything. Seriously, not a single thing.
Stop lying. The only reason he's okay is because the doctor acted fast. If they'd been even a minute later, I can't even bear to think about what could have happened.
He's the one who ate it on his own.
Even if he reached for it himself, I told you clearly 2 days ago, didn't I? I said do not give Jacob any shellfish, and I meant it. So why? Why did this happen?
Come on. You know what? I might as well say it. Honestly, I think allergies are all in your head. Kids overreact because the parents make them paranoid.
Excuse me? What did you just say?
When parents are constantly saying don't eat this, that's dangerous, of course the kid's going to believe it and freak out. It's actually kind of sad how overprotective some of these kids are. And really, if a bite or two is enough to send your kid into a meltdown, shouldn't you be sending him to school with meds? Sounds like the lack of preparation is your responsibility.
When Jacob was 2, he had just a tiny bite of a shrimp-flavored snack, and he broke out in hives all over his body. That's what led to the blood test that confirmed his allergy.
Wait, what are you even talking about right now?
That test showed he had a high sensitivity to shellfish. Since then, under doctor's orders, he hasn't been allowed to eat any until his levels come down. That's why we haven't even started the food challenge yet. We were told never to attempt it outside a hospital under any circumstances.
Food challenge? What even is that? I've never heard of that in my life. Sounds made up.
It's called an oral food challenge. Under a specialist's supervision, the patient eats tiny amounts of an allergen to see at what point a reaction occurs. It's extremely risky and has to be handled with care.
Oh, I think that might have come up during enrollment or whatever, but honestly I didn't realize it was that serious.
It literally said in the documents that even a small amount could trigger anaphylactic shock. I can't tell you how frustrating it is that this wasn't taken seriously. That's exactly why I asked the school to make sure his meals didn't include any allergens. And yet, this happened.
But I mean, he's okay now, right? If he's fine, then what's the big deal? you don't need to keep making such a fuss.
That's not the point. You think just because he survived, we're supposed to pretend nothing happened? You gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, get mad all you want, but I'm the victim here too, you know. Your kid ruined my class's perfect streak.
Excuse me? Did you just call yourself the victim?
That's right. We had this everyday clean plate record going, and Jacob ruined it in one shot. Do you know how embarrassing that was for me? And not just the other day, it almost happened again today. Do you have any idea how humiliating that is?
Wait, are you telling me that's why you gave Jacob the shrimp pasta?
Geez, you're so persistent. I already told you. I didn't do anything.
So this is what it feels like to be totally speechless. I can't believe this is real.
Anyway, the bell's about to ring. I've got to get back to class, so I'm ending this here.
How could you do this to my precious son? I swear no matter what happens, I will never forgive you. Don't forget that.
Yikes, someone's holding a grudge. Ugh, how scary. If you hate me that much, why don't you just transfer him to another school?
How could you do this? This feels like something out of a TV show. I can't believe it's real.
What are you talking about?
I will never forgive you.
Yeah, whatever. You're so dramatic. He's fine now, isn't he?
Anaphylactic shock can relapse within 24 hours, even if symptoms calm down at first. And now, my son is...
Huh? Wait, no way. Are you saying Jacob, he's gone? No, that can't be.
What you did can never be forgiven. Not in this lifetime. No matter how many years pass, I will hate you. I'll curse you forever, for generations.
Wait a second. Are you seriously saying this is all my fault? That can't be right. There's no way I'm that responsible. I don't believe it.
Unbelievable. You're really gonna sit there, deflecting blame, showing no remorse, like nothing happened? You know what people like you are called? Trash.
I get what you're saying, but all I did was give him a tiny bite of my shrimp pasta. Just a little taste. How was I supposed to know it would turn into something this devastating? It was just a little bite. I never imagined something so small could take a life. I'm in shock. I can't even think straight.
Oh, that's funny. A minute ago, you were insisting he asked to try it. But what you just said now, you fully admitted that you gave it to him.
Wait, no. I mean, that's not what I meant. That wasn't my intention.
You knew about the allergy, and you chose to ignore it and force him to eat it. That's not just careless, that's an assault. Do you understand that this is a crime?
I never thought it would go this far. I swear I didn't mean for this to happen.
Excuses don't matter anymore. Not now. You're going to face the consequences. I'm going to the police and I'm telling them everything you did.
Wait, please. Just listen to one thing. There's something I need to tell you. And I think once you hear it, maybe, just maybe, you'll understand.
What is it?
In my class, the one thing I could always count on was that everyone finished their lunch. It was the only thing I was proud of.
And what does that have to do with anything? Don't tell me you're seriously saying that's why all this happened.
Out of all 5 classes, mine never stood out in academics or athletics. But at least when it came to lunch, every single day, we finished our meals. That was my one saving grace. More than anything else, that record was what kept me going. It was the only thing that made me feel like I was doing something right.
Are you seriously saying you put a child's life at risk over something that meaningless? Unbelievable.
But when your son joined my class last month, I just had this bad feeling. Every time he left food on his tray, it felt like the day would finally come when our clean plate streak would end. And now it has.
But Jacob is fine with everything except shellfish. If his lunch doesn't include allergens, then technically he could still help maintain your precious record.
Yeah, but that doesn't feel fair. If everyone's not eating the exact same thing, what's the point?
That makes absolutely no sense.
It was the only thing my class had to beat the others, and now my pride is completely shattered.
You've got to be kidding me. This is the most pathetic thing I've ever heard.
What did you just say? None of my past classes were ever known for anything special, but then for the first time people started saying, wow, Elena's class is amazing.
So that's it? Jacob got dragged into this nonsense and had to suffer for that?
Why can't you see it? Other parents have also expressed their gratitude, saying they're happy their kids eat foods they don't enjoy at home. I'm the only one who gets that kind of praise. That sense of superiority over the other teachers is everything to me.
No matter how much we talk, it's clear we'll never understand each other. But there's one thing I've realized.
What?
You don't feel even the slightest bit of guilt, do you?
Why would you say that?
Because in this entire conversation, not once have you actually apologized.
I'm so sorry. I can't believe what I did to your precious little boy.
Oh, I had a feeling. That whole scene with the principal, crying and saying sorry, was just for show.
What? How do you even know about that?
3 hours ago, right after our messages ended, the principal came to the hospital.
I was wondering why he suddenly disappeared from school.
He kept saying sorry and mentioned that you really feel bad about what went down, asking me not to tell the school board or the cops. He also said you cried and apologized, promising this will never happen again, right?
Yes.
So if that was true, I told myself maybe, just this once, I'd try to forgive you.
I won't let Jacob's death be in vain. From now on, I'll do everything I can to become a better teacher, so if you'll excuse me...
You're not going anywhere. I'm filing a report with the police.
No, please. Jacob's spirit would be devastated.
That's nonsense. He's right here beside me, shaking and saying, I never want to go back to that terrifying teacher again.
What? Someone who's dead can't be shaking.
Jacob's alive.
What? Didn't he have another anaphylactic reaction and become an angel or something?
I just mentioned it might have happened. I never claimed Jacob died. Check the messages again.
You're right. You tricked me.
No, you jumped to conclusions.
Coward! Why would you do something like this?
I wanted to see if I could get you to admit that you knowingly gave him the shrimp pasta.
How dare you!
I'm filing a police report now, and just so you know, the principal has already approved it.
What? No way. Wait, please, hold on. What? Why is the principal at the hospital?
I told you. He's been right here next to me since I sent that first message. He saw everything. Everything you said, and how you kept trying to dodge responsibility. And don't worry, I've got screenshots of the entire conversation.
No. What'd I do? Please let me talk to the principal. I've been calling him nonstop, but he won't answer.
Obviously, he's in a meeting with the school board right now. And don't pretend you don't understand how serious this is.
Wait. No way. Are you saying I might actually get a pay cut? I can't afford that right now. There's no way.
You wish it were just a pay cut. You better start realizing just how serious this really is.
Wait, but isn't there still a chance I won't be punished? I mean, it was an accident, right? It wasn't intentional. Maybe they'll see it as just bad luck and let it go, right? Right?
Are you even listening to yourself? This is unbelievable. This was a deliberate act. We're way past the point where an apology would fix anything.
No, that can't be true. What am I supposed to do? Please, help me.
You knew the allergy risk. You ignored it. You fed Jacob anyway. He ended up in the hospital. That's not just a mistake, it's a full-blown assault. At this rate, you're not just looking at losing your teaching license. This could stain your entire record.
No, please don't. If that happens, I won't be able to face my parents. I was raised in a family of educators. This can't be happening.
But it is happening, and you have to take responsibility for what you did.
I was always compared to my brother, never good enough no matter how hard I tried. Becoming a teacher was the one thing I did to finally earn my parents' praise. And now, I've betrayed them like this.
And what does that have to do with anything? What kind of pride is worth more to you than a child's life?
I always thought allergies were someone else's problem. I never really knew what could actually happen. I had no knowledge, no experience, so I truly never imagined it would end like this. I'm so sorry. I regret everything.
If you were going to break down and beg later, you should have faced it from the beginning. Now, you'll pay the price.
Please, I'm begging you. Don't tell anyone else about this. If you do, my whole life will be ruined.
Since then, Elena, she was found guilty of assault. Though she was granted a suspended sentence, she now has a criminal record. I filed for $20,000 in damages for the emotional trauma she caused me and my son. And rightfully so. After the verdict, her teaching license was revoked. Even the court agreed. She had no place in education. I heard she tried to live off what little savings she had left, but it didn't last long. She eventually fled back to her parents' home. But her parents, who were well known for their reputation as a prestigious family of educators, were furious and shut her out completely. Eventually, she started working part-time in forestry. The same woman who used to be so proud and full of herself now spends her days covered in sawdust. It's beyond my imagination. Her face is sunken, her eyes hollow, with dark circles underneath. The principal from Jacob's school happened to see her one day and said it's like she's a completely different person. She brought it all on herself. Now Jacob's class has a new teacher, someone who always watches over him with a smile and checks in often to make sure he's feeling okay. Every morning when I see Jacob walking off, cheerful and shouting, "See you later," I'm overwhelmed by the quiet, simple joy of knowing he's safe. This is what real happiness looks like. Thank you for watching. Please rate the video and subscribe to our channel. See you in the next video.